What's up, this community, and welcome back to another World Tanks Console video. So in this video, I'm going to be driving the Odgit 752, which is a Tier 9 Premium Russian 3-shot autoloader heavy tank. Well, that was a mouthful. And also, it's your Season 100 reward for the Season Pass. Wait, I think you get this one for free. Yeah, I don't think you need the actual Season Pass for this tank. Man, I should have looked this up. But anyway, so this tank is a Tier 9 Soviet heavy tank. Nope, you need the Season Pass to get this one. Okay. So, it's also a 3-shot autoloader. It does 390 damage per shot with a 3-second air clip reload. Does 390 damage per shot. And there's 3 of them. So it gives you about 1,197 damage in your clip. So let's go over the equipment and crew skills I have in the tank. My equipment is advanced optics, advanced powertrain, gun stabilizer, and enhanced target info. My crew skills, I have 9 on them. It's Born Leader, Rapid Loading, 6th Sense, Steady Aim, Off-Road Driving, Adrenaline Rush, Clutch Braking, Silent Driving, and Fire Prevention. Now, so the tank, this tank is actually pretty weird. I'll say that this is a Russian heavy tank that actually has gun depression. If you play the IS-4 line, you know about gun depression for Russian heavy tanks. But this tank actually has 8 degrees of gun depression, and it really relies on its gun depression to be a heavy tank. It's a weird, its armor layout on this tank is actually pretty weird. So, I do want to go to Tank GG right quick, but while I'm doing that, I can go over the penetration, which is 248 on standard, 318 on its premium. Also, the tank does have a DPM of 1,739. So, yeah. So, actually, I do have to say this. I have 2 replays. One, the first one just shows you everything good about the tank and everything bad about the tank. Right there, I just used my gun depression. And when I fell back when I was loading and I popped out, used my gun depression and unloaded my 3 clips. And the inner clip reload is 3.2 seconds. To fix my mistake where I said it was 3 seconds earlier. So, yeah. This tank. Now, if you don't actually have it, if you're not using your gun depression, your armor starts to fail. And this is, or people start loading gold or have high penetration. Because your armor starts to fail. And this is exactly when it does. And let's see, Odgit 752. Your whole armor has 195 at the front. Yep, 195 at the front. In certain points, it's 275. The armor of the front of the Odgit 752 really reminds me of the 279E. That's what the armor really reminds me of how much it's like just spread out, like the different millimeters of thickness, but not as strong as the 279E's frontal armor. So that first match was a victory on Maravinka. We died. I mean, it's not the best replays, but we bought 2,020 damage. You also seen the accuracy of this tank really mess with me when I was trying to snipe and protect the base. The accuracy is 0.42, which is actually not that good. Aim time is 3 seconds. No, 3.4 seconds, which is actually longer than your inner clip reload. Now, so the last game is when I was top tier. This game is when I'm going to be, I think it's mid tier. I think there's tier 10s in this game. I don't remember. But that doesn't really matter, because this is how you really want to play the tank. If you can't use your gun depression, you need to be that second line heavy tank. You don't want to be the frontal heavy tank, because you don't have the armor to work with unless you're using your gun depression. So basically, you want to be that support heavy tank. Still up in the front lines, but since you do have an autoloader, this makes it a lot easier to play with. Also, I am top tier in this game. Just realized, because that's the liking. So basically, you want to play as a support heavy tank when you're not using your gun depression. So you really want to, like, stay in cover when you're reloading, then pop out, unload your 3 shots. You're going to get shot when you're up there in the front lines, obviously, because you're a heavy tank. You're in the front lines, and you're unloading your clip. It takes about 6 seconds, 6.4 seconds to unload your entire clip. And that's actually a really long time to stay out in the open. Luckily, your armor will bounce some shots. It won't bounce all shots. You do have 1,750 hit points. So basically, you just want to pop out, put 3 shots in, and fall back. That's how you really want to play this tank. Don't really rely on your armor unless you're using your gun depression. Even then, your armor doesn't really hold up, because your turret armor is actually 330 at the front, which is actually really nice. Now, let me see if that's... Yep, that's the same on console. So if I go to 3D model on TankGG, go to live, if you're just facing it, not using any of your gun depression, your turret armor is 360 millimeters thickness. But if you're using your gun depression, it goes to about 380. So it will block most standard rounds, but it won't block premium rounds. Premium rounds, basically, if people load premium rounds against this tank, your armor means nothing. That's pretty much what I want to say, because you can't really angle this tank. Actually, let me take that back. You can angle this tank, because your side armor is really, it's a boat. Okay, so your side armor is 70 millimeters of armor. 70 millimeters? No, it's 140 on your side. Wow, that's actually a lot. My goodness, that's a lot on your side. So you can actually decently side scrape in this tank. So basically bait people into shooting your side. But also remember, this is sort of like a pike nose. Okay, think about playing the Object 279E, but can't just sit out there in front of tanks. So the best way to compare this tank to is, think about an Object 279E at tier 9 that has a 3-shot autoloader and cannot just sit out in front of tanks, but have to use your gun depression. But you can side scrape, but when you do side scrape, your frontal armor exposes a weak point, just like it does when you side scrape, when you angle and pike noses. So yeah, be aware of that. Now, I'm actually running out of shells this game. I'm actually doing really good. It's a 6v12, rated 5100 damage, and got 4 standard left, 15 premium, and 3 high explosive. The reason I didn't want to put this replay first is because it doesn't really show off the tank. It just shows off one of my best games in the tank. The first one really shows off the tank, shows off the best ways to play the tank while using your gun depression, and it shows you that the armor can't really be trusted. Well, the armor does stand up sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. So, basically, use your gun depression as much as you can. And if you can't use gun depression, be that support heavy tank, or if you're just in the wide open like I am, try to side scrape. Try to bait people and shooting the side armor of your tank. So that seems pretty fair, right? So, this is actually a really good game in this tank. I'm bouncing a couple of shots because I'm weakening my armor back and forth. And yeah, I knew it was going to die because he got to my side, but this is a kind of weird heavy tank to play. I've never really played a heavy tank like this. It reminds me a lot of the 279E. And yeah, I don't know what else to compare it to, really. Odget 279E, something like that. So that second match was the defeat, but we did nearly 6,000 damage. Blocked 1,050, and I didn't see how much silver we made. But anyway, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also remember to slap fish because why would you not? And peace out. See ya.